So I know what you want for dinner tonight. You want pizza. But you don't know how to make it. Well, that's what I'm here for. I have worked now at Little Caesars for 3 to 4 months, and I know how to make the perfect pizza. So, I would like to demonstrate how to make the perfect stuffed crust pizza, including the following: preparation, making, baking, and finishing your pizza. For preparation, you need to get out your ingredients. I have mine laid out. So the first one is fresh, refrigerated dough. The reason I say refrigerated is because it's easier to spread out to make your pizza. Next, you need your pizza sauce, which can be of your choosing. You need 100% mozzarella cheese, so it tastes better. You need pepperonis, string cheese, Parmesan, and butter. Next, we move on to baking supplies. You need a pizza pan, big enough to fit your pizza. You need a pizza cutter for later on. You need a spoon or spatula to spoon out your pizza sauce. You need a brush to use for your butter later. And you need a fork. I like to poke my pizza to make sure there's no bubbles afterwards. The last 2 steps you need to prepare for your pizza is you need to preheat your oven. Make sure there's nothing inside and preheat it to 425 degrees. And lastly, you need to wash your hands. This is very important to keep off germs, and I've done this prior to the speech to save time. Next is making your pizza. You need to take your refrigerated dough, and you need to take a good sized ball of it, and you need to push it out to the sides. You need to make sure it's even so the pizza looks nice. After your dough has all been pressed out and laid out like so, you need to take your mozzarella sticks and place them in a circular fashion around your pizza. Should be in a very nice circle, and you should leave enough room that you can fold over the dough at the edges. Make sure you knead in the dough while you're pressing it in, and make sure you're still keeping a circular pattern. This should make the pizza look nice. And you can use your hands to press it in. This is usually the longest part of making the pizza if you're going to make a stuffed crust, because you have to make it look neat. And fresh dough usually is harder to make look neat than freezer dried dough. Take your hands, use the flat part to press it in. If you find this difficult, you can use a little flour. And after that's all pressed in, you move on to sauce. You take your spoon with your sauce, take a good amount, make sure it's not dripping, and spread it on your pizza. I like to use my spoon to make it into a circle. It's up to you how much sauce you'd like. If you're not a sauce person, you can add less. And you can do it right up almost about to the rim of where you put your mozzarella cheese. After that is the shredded cheese. Take a good sized handful, sprinkle it around, making sure it looks neat. Making sure not to get any on the crust. Make sure it's even and well spread out. And don't worry about any leftover spaces. When cheese melts, it'll make sure that spaces are gone. Lastly, you take your pepperonis, and you can do any pattern you like. I like to just cover every part of the pizza in a way that makes it easy to cut. And if your pepperonis are sticking, I like to keep them in a stack so they're easier to spread out. done. And there. Once that's done, your pizza is ready to put in the oven. A stuffed crust usually takes about 25 to 30 minutes. So you set your timer, and you let it cook. And while that's waiting, you can melt your butter and ready your Parmesan cheese to put on the outside of the crust for afterwards. Oh, looks like it's time to check the pizza. It's done. Ooh, look at that goodness. Now don't forget to turn off the oven, unless you want to burn the house down. Oh, looks yummy. Next step, take your melted butter and your brush and you sweep it over the edges. Once this butter will help the Parmesan to stick, and you can skip this step if you're not a butter and parm lover. Take your Parmesan and sprinkle it over the edges. Now, if you forget any of these steps, you know where to find me at Little Caesars. Pizza, pizza.